Hey everybody, it's Lavetta from SheBusy Productions, and I'm here with the month 19 update for Full Sail University. Right now we're currently on Christmas break, or winter break, however you want to say it, and I figured I'd better get this out of the way since I have some extra time. I have a notepad here with a couple of things that I want to discuss about the last month's class and how it went for me. For month 19, I was in a class called Intro to Eve-O, which is Introduction to Editing and Visual Effects online. And I believe my teacher's last name was Landon. I want to say her first name was Kara. I'm almost certain it was, but I just remember calling her Miss Landon the whole entire time. The class itself was very good. I didn't have any problems with like course material or anything of that nature, but I did run into a few problems with some of my software. It seems that I had been missing, let me see here, important updates or upgrades for Final Cut Pro, which was supposed to be Final Cut X, which is 10, I guess, and Premiere. My Adobe Premiere was still in a CS5, and I was supposed to be in a CS6, so I had to call tech support and find out exactly what they wanted me to do about that situation. I did get to and this happened the day I found out that I had an assignment due, like that night, and I had not worked with Final Cut at all, other than like a few little tinkerings here and there a few classes back, and I kind of knew nothing about it because I don't really work with Final Cut, and I wanted to use the Adobe. Well, what happened was, when it came time for me to update the Adobe, it said that it was going to take about 6 hours. That posed a serious problem because by the time I got the codes from tech support to update, it was already about 8 o'clock p.m. and my assignment was due at 11:59 p.m. and I did not want any type of 10-point deduction because I was going to be late. So what I did was I used the older Final Cut to do the project, which means I was working in Final Cut 7 instead of Final Cut 10, which it happened. There was nothing I could actually do about it. And so I had to struggle the whole month long working on a system that I did not have any tutorial videos for, or what else was it? They gave us tutorials and some other, the lynda.com footage. I did not have access to any training materials for Final Cut Pro 7. So I just kind of picked and felt my way around and looked at a couple of people here doing tutorials on YouTube, trying to find out, exactly what I could do, how I could make things better. And that's essentially what I had to do. I did end up getting, struggling through getting everything done and catching up to everybody else. And I think, considering the program that I had to use, I did extremely well considering. The lowest grade I got this month was probably a 90. And my next to lowest was a 98. But other than that, and I think that was only on probably I think it was maybe like 2 assignments. One I got a 90 and 2 I got a 98, and the rest of the assignments for the month were hundreds. The easy part of getting 100 in this class was downloading the weekly portfolio that we have for each class, and that was like a big PDF file that you had to download that had all of your reading materials in it, all of your movies or videos or anything like that you had to watch in it, and all of your slideshows for the week. So if that was 4, it was 4 of those. So if you downloaded each one of them, one for each week, then that gave you 100 points for each one. And that was an easy ace. So you got to make sure you download that stuff, and not only that you download it, but that you click I have finished this activity. But yeah, I got 100 on all those, of course, and my discussions and stuff. But I'm saying it was only like 3 things that I didn't get 100 on. What else? I talked about my editing dilemma with, well, no, I didn't talk to you about the editing dilemma. I talked to you about the software dilemma. My editing dilemma came in because I had such a short time to learn Final Cut 7. As opposed to, you know, everybody saw the video. I saw the video coming in the class on Final Cut 10, and I'm looking at it like, this is before I knew I hadn't updated. I'm looking at it like, this doesn't look like what I have, because what I do is, when I'm watching a video, I will pull up my program on one side. I like minimize the screen, you know, shrink it up and put it in the corner. I'll minimize the tutorial screen. Not minimize, but shrink it. And then I'll shrink mine and put it next to it. So as they're doing stuff over in their corner, I'm following along doing it in my corner. Well, when I pulled mine up, I'm like, it looks absolutely nothing like what is currently going on this other screen. And that's when I called tech support, and I'm like, what's going on? So they did the screen share thing with me that always kind of freaks me out, because I'm trying to make sure that I'm not in my pajamas when they're doing this, because in my mind, if you can share my screen, then you can see through my camera and see what I have on or don't have on, and I'm not in the mood for that. I digress. But I had to call tech support a couple of times, like, you know, this isn't really what I have. What am I supposed to do? And then they gave me, you know, codes and everything. Full Sail is excellent about giving you the codes to things. But what I can say is, I did not know, or maybe I wasn't notified, or maybe, you know, the upgrade came up and I'm always like, yeah, whatever. My system's always checking for updates. And that's a little bit of a tidbit I can give you. When it checks for updates, let it check for the updates. Don't hit cancel and get out of it and stuff like that, because that's how you'll end up like this. But what I can say is they were excellent about giving me the codes to put in and sending me the walkthrough of how to upgrade my Adobe. They were excellent when it came to that. I have no problems with them about that, or the tech support or anything like that. They were really, really helpful this month with my editing dilemma. And because I hadn't really used Final Cut, I didn't know that I had to render like every 2 seconds just to get something to do. So I'm like dragging everything and I'm cutting it and I'm putting it together and I'm making it look good. And then I click to play it and it's like, yeah, beep. And I'm like, oh my God, what? So I called tech support again, and they told me, you know, just hit render every so often, you know, render a lot, save a lot, and it'll help you. And they actually did. So, the project that I worked on last month and this month was my Defining TT Super Trailer. And I put it public on YouTube a couple days ago. And if you have not seen it, I will post the link down below. Let me see, what else do I need to talk about? Oh, for the most part, we had no WIMBAs in this class. Not WIMBAs, no GoToMeetings or training or online lectures in this class. And everybody by now, you guys know, I love an online lecture, and we didn't have any. But what we did utilize most was our Film Skills modules. Film Skills is a website that you go to that you have to be pretty much invited to or allowed to access via your school. I think one of my earlier professors told me that they actually have to pay for each student who uses it. So what you do is, when you get to class, when you get first into the class, you'll see that your modules will be on, or your lessons, your video lessons will be on Film Skills, and you tell your professor, or you go into the site and you register for the class, and then you have to wait, because you have to send your professor a email saying, or they'll send it, but sometimes I send a follow-up. Send it to your professor saying, you know, hey, I've requested access to the classes for this week. Could you please allow me? And that way, they're not paying for everybody to do it, and everybody's not even going to show up. They're paying for the select people who actually have requested access to the class. Those were very, very helpful. We learned a lot about editing. I can truly say now that I am no longer like a Final Cut, I can't even say Final Cut newborn, because I was probably a Final Cut barely embryo when I started. But now I can probably say that I can probably do a little bit more than toddling on with Final Cut. I might be able to run with it somewhat, falling every now and then. There are things I don't really know still, but I can say that I've gotten better. My next class, I think, is directing. That teacher has already sent the first welcome email, and I'm like, dude, slow down, because we weren't even done with EVE before he sent out the next one, before he sent out his welcome letter. And I understand they do that, and I'm thankful for it, because it lets me know, hey, you got something else coming up and this is what it is. But I was like, can I just get through this final? And luckily I didn't have too many problems with the final. She did give me some criticism on, you know, make a font bigger or change to a different font altogether. Everything else is working out really, really good. Work on your cohesiveness. And I did that. And I can truly say that from what I started off with to what I have now, it really, really, it really looks good. We had to work on opening credits, ending credits, things like that, and learn the flow of it and how things should go and where you're going to be cutting your footage at. That worked out perfectly with the Final Cut Pro. I no longer had to spend 2-3 days working on the Final Cut. I could actually spend, you know, 1 day working on the draft or the homework for that day. And I'm thankful for that. Very, very thankful for that, because it was getting to be a bit much. And I was like, I don't know. And there was one point, and people who know me will know that this is not even easy for me to admit. There was one point when I got the very first assignment and realized that I didn't have everything I needed, that I actually sat there and cried for like a good, it wasn't long, don't play me, it was a good 30 seconds. I actually sat there and cried about it, and then I sucked it up and said to myself, okay, now that that's done, let's make something happen. And I had to take whatever I had and get it done. That was the only thing, that was my only option, was to suck it up and get it done. And I did it, and I think it came out pretty good, considering that I had never dealt with those programs before. I would have liked to have worked with Premiere even after I got the full Premiere, the full Adobe Suite 6 download, which is like a lot. But after I got everything to download and everything, I didn't want to have to switch and work on another editing system as opposed to the one I had started with. I'm quite sure that that my teacher would have allowed me to start a new edit in Premiere, but I kind of wanted to force myself to learn how to do Final Cut, and that's what I did. I forced myself to learn it. I learned it, and I'm kind of proud of myself for mastering something that I totally thought was going to conquer me. I'm trying not to make this video too long, so let me see. If you heard that, I think it was some type of a loud vehicle. Let me see, anything else that I needed? Nope, I think that was all that I had on my list. But I also wanted to say thanks to Matt, who received his runners-up prize, his gift bag from his gift prizes rather from our last giveaway that we just had. I want to say thank you. He sent me an email on, he sent me an email on Facebook to tell me that he received all his stuff and he was pleased with it. So I just wanted to say hey to Matt, because it was really cool to get the email from him, letting me know that he had gotten it. After the beginning of the year, you can be expecting a lot of different content from me and the channel, because I'm going to be kind of branching off and doing some different things with the company. It's time that I get some permanent things in place for what I'm going to do with the production company, because I'm sorry, I'm watching myself on the screen, because the film, the documentary itself is it's already in post-production. I'm probably going to be wrapping it very, very shortly, probably even before we go back to school. And I want to have the business itself in order, perfect order, before I do a lot of sending it off to different film festivals and things of that nature. I'm definitely going to make it, I'm definitely going to send it out to film festivals first, and you'll hear a siren, there it is, and then I'm going to probably have it available for digital download from the website. And let me think. Digital download on the website, as well as hard copies to be purchased. If you have not yet visited the Indiegogo page, you can do that. I'll put the links in the bottom. Let me see, anything else that I need to talk about? I'm going to have another FAQ coming up. Any questions that you would like me to answer, I'll be happy to answer them for you. If you would just send me an inbox, put them in the comments, because I always read the comments. It might take me a day to get there, but I always read the comments. Or you can send them via inbox on YouTube, inbox on Facebook, or put them simply in the comment box, because I will always read them. Anything else that I need to say? Nope. I don't think there's anything else that I need to get into. But if you have anything that you would like me to talk about in the next video, which will probably be coming up just right after the new year, because I'm probably just going to come on with like some announcements or some, hey, how's everybody doing kind of thing. So if you have anything that you would like me to talk about in my next video, or something you would like me to try, or questions you want me to answer, just put them in the comment box or send me an inbox. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and thumbs up the video. Thanks everybody for watching, and Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm getting ready to go in there now and watch the 24 Hours of a Christmas Story. That's my tradition. How about yours? But I know that's what I do every year. 24 hours straight of a Christmas story. That kind of gets me in the mood for it. But yeah, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Bye.
SheBusy.